My name is Miki Dezaki. I am the director-producer of Shusenjo, the main battleground of the Comfort Women issue. It's a film on the debates and kind of the arguments of the Comfort Women issue. I noticed that there was a kind of a gap in information between the Koreans and the Japanese, and I thought maybe if I do a 2-hour film on the issue, giving a lot of context and information, that maybe I could fill this gap and maybe people could have better discussions on this issue once they know more information. For me, it was just really about showing all the most persuasive arguments from both sides and examining and fact-checking and fleshing out which argument is the most persuasive. It had to be very relevant to the Comfort Women issue itself. I think it was really important to follow the process of how I learned about the Comfort Women issue and why certain groups are trying to change the history of the Comfort Women issue. So that was the main kind of driving force. Just one interview in particular of a German historian who was talking about how history is treated in Germany versus how it's treated in Japan, how historians and historical revisionists are very different in how they create historical narratives. So it's kind of more of a meta perspective on the Comfort Women issue or historical issues in general. First, I would go to their public symposiums. I would go up to them and get to know them and talk to them and exchange business cards. And from there, I would email them and explain my project. And then finally, when they agreed to do the interview, we meet up and I say that this is a project or a film for my graduation project, and if possible, it might be shown in film festivals and theaters. Yeah, they knew the possibility. So at the time when I'm making the film, you have no idea whether or not it's going to be good enough to be selected for film festivals. Yeah, I just told them that it's possible, so please sign this release form and stuff like that. Surprisingly not. I think that they want to get their message out to as many people as possible. They thought that because I'm Japanese American, that if they can persuade me, I could be used to convince more Americans of their historical narrative. For those people who support the Comfort Women, it was actually harder to get them on camera. They're concerned about getting attacked from nationalists online or maybe even in the street. In the end, they decided to do the interviews because I told them that I'm interviewing a lot of people on the right-wing side, so if you don't say anything, the movie is just going to be a bunch of right-wingers saying their opinion. So this is a time that you can express your opinion on this film, and if the film is big enough, then you will have a big platform for your views to be expressed. So I guess somehow I was convincing enough to them that they felt like it was worthwhile to do an interview with me. So the associate producer, Kang Myun-suk, he was a exchange student at my university. He was just really passionate about this project. My assistant producer, Jeon Hyun-jung, so I've known her for a very long time. She wanted to help out as much as possible. Both of them were very surprised as to what I made in the end. This is maybe insulting to me that they were like, wow, this is way better than I thought it was going to be. After they saw it, they're like, oh, okay, now I understand what your vision was, you know. I just hope that they are open to watching it and possibly learning about something that they didn't know. Whether or not they accept the information is up to them. Hopefully they are open to challenging their own opinions. The trade dispute between Japan and Korea, it seems like the film is getting more and more attention. It's unfortunate that this is happening just because this kind of thing creates more hatred between the two countries. And my goal for my film was to reduce the amount of hatred through understanding and bringing more context to these historical disputes. It is a fact that forced labor case is a human rights case, it's a civil case. It's almost to imply that the forced labor verdict was an attack by the Korean government on Japan. It's unfortunate that it's effective because a lot of Japanese people don't know much about the forced labor history, And so if they did know that, then Prime Minister Abe's actions wouldn't have that kind of effect of getting Japanese people angry at Korea. So I'm sure, the Korean audience has heard about the comfort women issue, tends to know some about the comfort women issue, but I think there might be a lot of information in the film that you may not have heard of. It may be interesting for you to understand, why people in Japan or the Japanese right-wingers or the far right-wingers think the way they do. I just hope that you're willing to challenge your own views and discuss it and debate it and hopefully talk to some Japanese people in the future about it.